defense was getting a lot of pressure today. What did you take from that?
Well, they did early. I think it was a combination of doing a good job on defense and then, not being in position on offense. And then we tightened up and then moved the ball better. But the O-line's kind of the most important part. So,
I guess how do you balance that in a scrimmage when you look at, the O-line struggles or the E-line success? How do you try to balance that out?
You just try to evaluate, what a guy did right or wrong on either side of the ball. I thought that, the first two series defense dominated. The next two series offense dominated. And then it was mixed. The last two, I'm not counting the threes, but the last two series were mixed minus the turnovers, I thought,
Being in camp for over a week now, what kind of stands out to you as positive and what needs more work?
I think we're getting better. I think we're getting better. I think we've got to get tougher at receiver. I think those receivers spend a certain amount of the time being awfully willing to get shoved around. I think, but just overall, we just have to have overall improvement, and then we're still, developing depth in the O-line.
What do you think of Will and Sawyer today?
I thought they were okay. I thought didn't jump off the chart, but other than the turnovers, I didn't think they were bad.
With the format of things out here in a scrimmage, just obviously coaches not directly in players' ears sometimes. Do you kind of, I guess, see who you can trust maybe a little more in this format than any other practice? I guess how do you kind of weigh scrimmages when it comes time to evaluate?
Weigh them as another practice, but it does help illustrate who you can trust. And then the other thing is execution can be a little bit challenging because you got a mixture of players out there. But the other thing is you got to be able to adapt to the situation, and I like practicing in the stadium anyway. Then the other thing, occasionally, there'll be guys kind of get stage fright, and then other guys, are really ready to play. So you try to see a little bit of that too.
On the right side, it seems like you've had Reese play a little at right tackle, a little bit at right guard. I guess where do you kind of see him? Albert Reese?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you kind of see him coming into the mix there?
I think he's a good lineman. We're just trying to figure out between him and Cam who's best at guard and who's best at tackle. Just trying to fine-tune which position's best for him. I do think they're both going to play, and I think they're both right-side guys.
I know you mentioned that the wide receivers need to get tougher, but are you guys better in the secondary? Do you feel like you've built some good depth?
Yeah, we're better in the secondary, and we just have to answer the challenge at receiver. I think that we make too many judgments on when the ball's going to come to us, and I think as a team we do it some. I think the receivers do it even more, and we just have to be tougher people. And we've got a weird mix. We've got older guys, old guys and real young guys, and we need to develop some of those guys that are kind of the middle experienced guys.
You talked the first day of camp about what Rara needed to do. Have you seen him start to do that in the week since?
He's got to get consistent. I mean, he's got to get consistent. We got right now. I see a 3-horse race over there at that position. I don't have one ahead of the next. Over there we have, Tulu Rara and Justin Robinson, and I don't know that there's a difference between them. And at some point, they got to separate themselves, and the guy that separates himself will play the most.